And so now let's go on into the proposed indoor sports complex.
Mhm.
You've kind of been a strong proponent of that, even though it, for clarification one more time, it has not been approved.
Right.
We're only in the RFP stage for the design of it. When I asked the mayor about it, he said the RFPs were going out shortly. So have you seen a copy of the RFPs?
I have a draft in my computer. I haven't had a chance to go over them specifically, but I do have them, yes.
Okay. He said that it was going to be, that the design requirements were for one location located near the Mesquite Sports and Events Center up at Flat Top Mesa.
Right.
Would you entertain the idea of having it in alternate locations?
I think due to the fact that we've made a significant amount of progress at that particular location, that we should not abandon that location. However, I think there are probably more viable and workable locations throughout the city that might be in the best interest of the city.
Where would those be?
Well, you know, you look up and down Mesquite Boulevard and you look up and down Hafen Lane, there's acres and acres and acres of vacant land. Now, can they be acquired, and at what price can they be acquired? I don't know. I've never gone into that. But it just does seem that if we're going to go through with it, and again, it's an if, is that the best location? I don't know. I would certainly be interested in looking at alternative sites.
Okay, what about multiple use for the complex?
Well, when this first came out, and I believe it was in September a year ago, we had a meeting at the fire station. I don't know if you recall that.
Oh, I do.
And one of my questions was, will it be multiple use? I mean, can we use it for concerts? Can we use it for stage plays? Is it, for lack of a better word or a play on words, is it acoustically sound? Can it be done for concerts or plays or orchestras or whatever? Not only sports. I mean, sports would obviously be a large part of it, but for other activities, I think we have to pursue that. And again, sports a large part, but God, it's. I think the resources are just unimaginable. How much could be done?
Mm-hmm. Well, St. George is now in the process of building a multi-million-dollar, lot more $1 million than we're planning, on a sports complex near the new airport in St. George.
I've heard that.
It's going to, the plans call for an indoor sports complex similar to what has been proposed for Mesquite. How do you think that would impact us going forward with basically the same kind of structure but not on the grandest scale that they're planning? Do you think that impacts us? Our ability to attract teams?
Well,
and people?
you know, we're talking about two distinctly different destinations. They may take some of our thunder. We may take some of theirs. You know, we have as much to offer in the form of golf and recreation as they have probably. We have the added of gaming. Would it affect us? Yes. Would it hurt us? I'm not sure. Would I welcome them? Sure. I've always welcomed competition, and it's the guy that does the best job is always the guy that's going to be successful. So
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah. So overall, though, you're kind of a strong proponent of it. Would you call yourself a strong proponent?
Well, as I said before, if the numbers come in, the guarantees come in, the warranties come in, and all those things that are going to be absolutely required to make it a success, if we can put all those things together on the table and assure that that's bundled properly and we have a chance to succeed, then I would absolutely support it. But I don't think we can leave any stones unturned. We've got to really scrutinize it from top to bottom and see where we are with it.
Um, what are your thoughts on redeveloping the downtown area, the blighted area along Mesquite Boulevard and Sand Hill? From an economic development standpoint, from a revitalization standpoint, or, just basically making it look better?
Well, there's no need, no question that it needs to be dressed up. Will downtown Mesquite ever turn out to be downtown Scottsdale? I don't think so. Will it be downtown Santa Fe? I don't think so. It's not only the redevelopment people that have to get their money and their activities behind this. It's the property owners themselves that have got to contribute something too. Are the property owners capable? I don't know. I mean, it's just not RDA money that's going to make this work. We have to have the cooperation of the property owners and see what their investment is, and are they willing and ready and able to aid. I mean, we just can't do it all ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, there's some people that advocate taking a stick, and some people advocate using a carrot with the private property owners. Which one would you be most in favor of?
Well, it obviously has to be something that's going to work for everybody. I don't think we can force anybody to do anything, or can we make it lucrative enough that they're going to jump up and invest their time and money. It's a tough call. I don't know, but it definitely has to be a cooperative effort between the city and the property owners. Or RDA. It can't be a one-way street. It's got to be a collaborative effort.
Well, what do you think is the best way to try to get the property owners to work with the city and city work with the property owners?
Well, some of those properties are extremely old. Is it going to be worthwhile, putting a dress on a pig? I don't know. Some of them should probably be torn down. It's a tough call, and I certainly don't want to offend any of the downtown property owners that have been there a lot longer than I've been here.
Mm-hmm.
But are they ready, willing, and able to help support the RDA? I don't know.
Are you willing to commit RDA funds to that?
Depending upon the project, we would have to take a strong, hard look at whatever project it might be. I am not adverse to spending RDA money, but we would have to take a good look at it.
Because we only have basically 2.5 million left in the RDA.
Exactly.
We're kind of running out, other
Yeah.
than the incremental tax
Right.
fund that we get through RDA. People seem to kind of be pulling that 2.5 million in a lot of different directions. Want to use it for the tent or the sports complex. They want to use it for revitalization. We've used it for basically everything but what it was intended for in the beginning.
Exactly.
Where do you stand on that?
Well, I'm not sure. I think RDA money was definitely earmarked exactly for RDA, and it should be for redevelopment purposes. I'm not sure that it should be earmarked for the tent, although there may be a few discretionary dollars that could be going in that direction. It's a tough call. It really is a tough call.
Okay. There's been a lot of talk, especially lately. Just 2 nights ago, the reduction in the right-of-way fees, eventual elimination, was tabled.
Mm-hmm.
The C-tax is coming up for some kind of revision in the next legislative period. Assemblyman Marilyn Kirkpatrick has almost promised that. What concerns you the most then going forward and looking into the future when we have so much uncertainty with that C-tax formula? That's 44% of our income.
Well, I'm not sure that I would want to be Miss Kirkpatrick at this point, because first of all, she's in North Las Vegas. And I think she's got to be very careful as to how she assimilates her formulas, because no one needs C-tax probably more than the city of North Las Vegas.
Yeah, and they've complained the most about not getting their fair share.
Exactly. Obviously, C-tax makes the world go round as far as Nevada goes. I guess there's got to be a tremendous amount of scrutiny when it comes to coming up with the new formulas. Not everybody's going to be happy, but I mean, it's not a one-way street. It's going to have a lot of decisions by a lot of people before it is finalized. So it's again going to be a tough call.
And Debbie Cardenas, our finance director, said we stand to lose up to $1 million
Exactly.
with that with the new formula.
Yeah. Well, if that new formula is accepted, yes, that's a distinct possibility. Is it going to be accepted? We don't know.
You know, that impacts us a lot, and especially going into next year's union negotiations, where we have all 3 contracts coming up for
Exactly.
renewal. Any thoughts about that? I know it's a year out. A lot of things change.
I was a union member for several years in my early careers, and they were an absolute necessary evil in the 50s and 60s and into the early 70s, I'm sure. Are they necessary anymore? I don't know. I know they serve a great purpose for the existing members. Have they seen their days? I don't know, and I certainly don't want to alienate union members. But as you've seen what happened in North Las Vegas, it could be the downfall of a lot of municipalities, because we just can't afford. I mean, obviously there's no money.
Right.
And to come up with the money to satisfy those unions is going to be awfully difficult.
Yeah, you know, we saw, just in the last few weeks, we saw 3 cities in California file
Exactly.
bankruptcy because of, basically, or one of the reasons, I won't say because, but one of the reasons were the union contracts with public employee unions. You know, that's going to be pretty tough going into next year.
It is. Well,
That sounds like a long way off, but, you know.
it happens real quickly.
Yeah. Union negotiations are going to be starting out right after the first of the year in just, 6 months or so.
Yeah. And I believe we will probably be employing a union negotiator next year. You know, Mr. Callahan is leaving us in a couple of weeks, and he's been very instrumental the last 3 or 4 years in negotiating the union contracts. With his absence, I believe we're going to have to get somebody that has some background and experience with union negotiations. So, of course, that's going to be another expense, because we're going to have to go on the street and pick somebody up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be, again, another tough call.
Yeah.